So I have this cousin. She's so jealous of me. Jealous because I'm about to marry the man of her dreams, a rich hunk. Yeah, that's right. Well, here's the catcher. She already dated him, but she didn't know that he was rich. She didn't give him enough time to explain. He doesn't like to show off with fancy cars, clothes, but guys, he's filthy rich and he's mine.
Hey guys, my name's Vivenna. I'm 30 and I married the love of my life, Sam, 2 years ago. Our wedding day was sabotaged by my cousin's sister, Amy. To understand what Amy did and my feelings towards her, you have to know a bit of a backstory. Sam and I dated for about a year before getting engaged. But we were crazy about each other and knew that the other one was the one for us the rest of our life. We didn't think it was pertinent to wait for the inevitable, which was to spend our lives together. I introduced Sam to my extended family after we got engaged. However, it seemed that Amy and Sam had already met. Apparently, Sam and Amy had dated for about 2 months before we even met. But Amy had broken things off, thinking that Sam wasn't her type and was below her status quo. When she found out that I was marrying her ex, whom nobody even knew that she dated for a little while more than a year ago, she was happy about it. She didn't say anything or show it to the day when I first found out. But over time, she starts to get jealous as she saw Sam throw a lavish engagement party for me, intending to propose again in front of my whole family with their blessing. It was the most romantic thing anyone had ever done for me, and I was smitten. He even organized an extravagant bachelorette party for me in Vegas, with all my cousins and friends. See, she witnessed him giving me these expensive gifts and spoiling me like a princess before the day of our wedding. As it turns out, Amy had not known how rich Sam was when she broke up with him. He just didn't like to show it how he dresses. She must have felt jealous of his treatment of me, or something, because when we were drunk at the bachelorette party, she tried to convince me that Sam was a cheater. I knew Sam, and I was well aware that he was a decent guy and would never do something like that to me. Hence, I was hurt that Amy would ever insinuate something like this to me. Well, she still continued saying that she had seen him with somebody else just a few days ago. I left her behind and retired for the night, thinking a good night's sleep would take away the icky feeling of Amy's words that brought up. So I brought Amy up with Sam, and he warned me to be cautious around her. I mostly forgot about Amy's claims until the wedding day. She came up to me while I was getting my makeup and hair done, claiming to be excited to show my pretty wedding dress to her boyfriend, thinking that he might buy her something similar. I let her take it just for a couple of minutes, even though I felt a bit suspicious. I didn't want to create a scene in front of my bridesmaids and just seem like a bridezilla. It was a mistake, because Amy waltzed into the room with my beautiful wedding dress in tatters. I was in tears when I yelled at her for ruining my dress, and she told me that it's what I get for being a gold digger. I was confused by her claims. She explained to me that it must be the only reason why I would marry Sam, her ex-boyfriend, soon after dating. I yelled that I should have known. I knew that she was jealous of my happiness, and Amy looked shocked, as she felt like the victim, claiming that I stole her boyfriend. I reminded her that she had been the one to break up with him for a stupid reason, and we started dating months after they broke up. Amy was incredulous and said that even after everything I was giving excuses. She rushed out, leaving me in tears. My bridesmaids tried to make provisions for another wedding dress as Sam rushed to me. He found me on the floor crying, and Sam quickly knelt in front of me, trying to dry my tears. I suggested maybe we would just postpone the wedding for a few hours. That's when he revealed it would not be necessary, because he anticipated such a situation and even had a backup wedding dress. I was shocked and impressed at his meticulousness. I walked down the aisle in an even more beautiful dress than my original. It was a dress of Sam's choice, and clearly he had better taste in dresses than me. The gown had lace, and the corset sparkled, making me feel like a real princess. I was overjoyed, thinking it was the best revenge for Amy messing with me on my special day. I saw her leave the wedding venue when she saw me walk down the aisle in an even prettier dress with her boyfriend. I felt satisfaction running through me as I saw her retreating, well, even though the guests started to murmur at her sudden retreat. So, I texted her after dinner and thanking her for the, revealing of her true colors. To add a bit of salt to the wound, I informed her that Sam was prepared for any mishap at the wedding and already had a backup dress ready for me in my size, and she responded with laughing emojis, expressing her joy at making me feel bad on my special day. Determined to have the last word, I told her that I was grateful that she tried to ruin my day. It made it crystal clear, to see her for the snake that she was. Moreover, I got to wear the dress Sam chose for me, which turned out to be even more expensive than the one I had initially chosen. After delivering my message, I blocked her number. It was petty, but I felt even better after that. Since my wedding, she has continuously tried to bring up how I wronged her by marrying Sam at every chance that she got. But I never paid her much attention, and while she remained bitter, I enjoyed my happiness considering it revenge enough for me. However, just recently, she announces her engagement to Cal, her fiancé. During a family dinner, of course. That's when she really got to me, you see. Everyone was present, and they all congratulated her. Sam and I did not even say a thing, focusing on our dinner rather than Amy. It might have rubbed her the wrong way, because she then announced that I was of course uninvited, so I gave her a thumbs up, not wanting to escalate the situation in front of the family. She was usually passive-aggressive behind everyone's back, and this public display was making me a bit uncomfortable. She announced nonchalantly that people who stole other people's boyfriends were not invited, so she was sorry to tell me that I would not be here. I felt humiliated, but I was ready to bury the conversation as soon as possible because everybody was looking at me confused. I was about to say that I didn't care, but Sam beat me to it. Sam sided with me, announcing that Amy and he had broken up way before I even met. And anyways, Amy and he were never even serious. Moreover, I had not even known that Amy had dated Sam before I introduced him at the family dinner, so how was I to know that Sam and Amy even dated? Amy raised her eyebrow and asked if that's my excuse for being a crappy sister. Sam said that it was, and in turn asked her what her excuse was for being a jerk. Everybody was shocked at the commotion. Amy was shocked and asked if Sam and I had not learned our lesson yet. Sam told her to plan her wedding and not focus on me and him. I was grateful that he reprimanded Amy in front of everyone. However, I was angrier at Amy for having the audacity to play the victim, again, after everything she did at my wedding day. The family separated us after dinner, and we didn't even see Amy, which was a relief, because the more I had to explain to the family that she wasn't the victim, the angrier I was getting. Sam told me to let it go, but I simply can't. She hasn't learned her lesson yet, and I want to retaliate. I wanted to ruin her special day like she did with me, and I want to do something for revenge, teach her a lesson. Does anybody have any suggestions? Top comments from the original post. Comment number 1. Amy sounds like a jealous little girl. The moment she found out that Sam was rich and liked to spoil the people he loved, she wanted him back. It's honestly disgusting how she isn't even trying to hide the fact from you and Sam. Her behavior at the bachelorette party should have been proof enough, but I'm glad that Sam was overprepared. Nobody can imagine their own cousin ruining the dress just because of jealousy, but I'm glad Sam had another wedding dress prepared, just in case any mishaps, and even after 2 years, Amy isn't over her imagined slight? That's childish. You should definitely teach her a lesson, I don't know, maybe ruin her wedding cake or something. Not the wedding dress, because she might be expecting that move. Either way, I hope she stays far away from you and Sam now that she's getting married. Comment number 2. Yeah, your situation sounds very complex, and perhaps you haven't considered Amy's feelings. While it may seem like Amy's jealous and doing everything because she wants Sam, it appears that she only has an issue with you, not Sam. Could it mean that she's genuinely sad that you married her former boyfriend? Maybe she feels like you didn't care about her feelings and she thought your announcement was a personal attack against her. Well, of course it doesn't excuse the way she treated you and tried to ruin your wedding, but instead of seeking revenge, perhaps an honest conversation with her can do the trick. She might just be hurt, and all this animosity could be resolved over a cup of tea. Either way, I hope you and Amy can get past this slight bump in the life. Update Number 1. Hey everyone, it's Vivenna again. I have an important update. It's been a month since Amy publicly uninvited me and absolutely tried to humiliate me in front of my entire family. Well, and I've honestly thought of some plans to ruin her wedding like she tried to ruin mine 2 years ago. I've also enlisted the help of my cousin Harriet. She dislikes Amy just as much as I do, so she was one of my bridesmaids and witnessed how horrible Amy was to me. Growing up, they never got along that much, and there was no love lost between the two of them. A week ago, I asked her if she would like to help me teach Amy a lesson, and she heartily agreed. I then asked her if she was willing to keep an eye on Amy at her bachelorette party, which, as you guessed it, I wasn't invited to. She assured me that she would, and in any case Amy does something embarrassing or immoral, she'll make sure to videotape it for me. Yesterday, Sam, Harriet, and I got together to see what proof Harriet had collected. She showed us a video of Amy drunk as heck, badmouthing Cal, her fiancé's parents. In the video, she calls them clingy and too dependent on the man that she's marrying. If I remember correctly, his mother is sick and always in and out of the hospital. It was disgusting to watch Amy say such horrible things about her own fiancé's sick mother and father. So, she also claimed to have plans of having Cal wrapped around her pretty little finger and throwing his parents out of the house or sending them to an old age home, stating that she would never take care of her in-laws, and Cal had enough money to make them someone else's problem. It was sick how she talked about her soon-to-be family. It also became clear to me through this video that she was only marrying Cal because he was rich. I guess Amy doesn't have a type, and she didn't realize that Sam was her type because he doesn't wear all these expensive watches, belts, shoes, you name it. However, I'm also relieved that I have enough proof to ruin her wedding day. Although I do feel sorry for Cal, I've considered sending this video directly to him to spare him the embarrassment. Yet my desire to humiliate Amy just as she did to me when she announced her engagement and portrayed me as her boyfriend stealer in front of her whole family prevails. Sam says that he can project this video on the screen where she's supposed to project a pre-wedding photo shoot. Harriet has also assured me that she can discreetly let me into the venue without arousing any suspicion. Amy's wedding is in a week, and I have even more plans to ruin her wedding, to absolutely humiliate her in front of everyone like she tried to do with me on my wedding day 2 years ago. This will be my revenge for every bump that she's created in my life. This will all be her own fault, and I'll give you guys another update next week after the wedding. Update number 2. Hello everyone, it's OP again. So, I'm just getting back from ruining Amy's wedding. Let me tell you all about it. So, a lot's happened. Harriet got us into the wedding like she claimed that she could. It wasn't a secret that Amy turned into a bridezilla, and her bridesmaids kind of didn't want to be anywhere near her. I saw most of her bridesmaids sitting by the stairs drinking heavy, with Amy nowhere in sight. It was a fully indoor wedding, so it was easy to sneak around before most of the guests arrived. Sam went ahead and switched the pen drive containing Amy's pre-wedding photo shoot with another one, containing all the vile things that she said about her future in-laws and Cal. He also managed to steal the remote that would be controlling the projector for later use. We get into position and bided our time. Amy walked down the aisle as everybody looked at her looking really resplendent in a huge wedding gown. If I didn't have a personal vendetta against her, I might have compared her to an angel descending the aisle or something. She did look pretty in that exquisitely made gown. Too bad I had some plans for it. As Amy stood in front of Cal, who beamed down at her, Harriet turned off the main light switch of the whole building. Chaos ensued quickly. Children running everywhere, their parents chasing them in utter darkness, Amy yelling at somebody to do something as Sam and I stepped forward in the shadow of the darkness. I poured the bottle of wine I already had on her pristine white dress. She screamed at the liquid against her dress, and Sam slapped a cake on her chest, smearing it everywhere. Amidst this confusion, Amy screamed about something messing with her dress, and Sam and I quickly made our way to hide behind the huge curtains on the side. When the lights came on, a hush fell over everyone for a moment, then a little kid pointed at Amy and laughed. Well, the laughter triggered throughout the entire room. Amy became the laughingstock just like that. Humiliated, she attempted to rush towards the exit, but Sam turned on the projector, halting Amy in her tracks. Everybody was watching the video of Amy badmouthing her fiancé's parents for being, quote, too clingy. They also watched as Amy revealed her plans of having Cal wrapped around her pretty little finger and forcing him to throw his parents out in the streets. Cal was horrified as he watched the video. I genuinely felt sorry for putting him through this. When he confronted Amy for an explanation, she stuttered, unable to justify her terrible behavior. In frustration, he called off the wedding right then and there, leaving her standing, utterly humiliated in front of everyone. As many accusing eyes were trained on her, she rushed out in embarrassment. She didn't see me there, but she knew. I received a text from her stating that she was aware it was me who ruined her wedding, and she threatened to expose what she considered my vile actions. In response, I simply sent her a thumbs up emoji. Well, update number 3. Hello everyone, it's Vivenna. It's been 2 weeks since I've ruined Amy's wedding, and she clearly has not learned her lesson. I had no plans of ever talking to Amy, but my mother's birthday was around the corner, so my dad threw a small party. Not a big enough event to make Amy feel bad, but enough to make my mom feel loved. Sam and I attended with a gift for my mom, and to my surprise, my father cautioned me to steer clear of Amy. Confused, I asked him what he meant by that, and he disclosed that Amy had been spreading negative rumors about me for the past 2 weeks, accusing me of sabotaging her wedding and claiming that I was jealous of her happiness. Despite my confession that I was indeed responsible for ruining her wedding, my father excused my wrongdoings, saying that Amy was indeed a horrible person for saying those things at her bachelorette party, so maybe she deserved it. He asked me to stay away from her and not cause any more issues for my mom. I promised him that I would try to keep a low profile. Well, Amy had made no such promises. She showed up at the party a little drunk. She immediately pointed her fingers at me and she laughed and asked what I was doing here. I reminded her it's my mother's birthday. Where else would I be? She asked me how dare I show her face after ruining her life twice. Once when I stole Sam away from her, and then by ruining her relationship with Cal. I grew increasingly frustrated with her bratty attitude, and I pointed out that while she could play the victim, the truth is that she's just a jealous little girl who's just so bitter from the inside and can't swallow anyone else being happy. Just to set the record straight for everyone, I made it clear that I started dating Sam months after Amy had dumped him because she thought that he wasn't rich enough for her. I told everybody that I had not known that Sam and Amy even dated before, and only found out when I announced the engagement. And she didn't say that she was uncomfortable about it either. Amy's jealousy surfaced seeing Sam's attentive and generous treatment towards me, and to retaliate she fabricated a story about Sam's infidelity, attempting to sabotage our relationship. And then right there on that wedding day, she ruined my wedding dress as revenge for something I didn't even do to her. Well, I could see that half of the family was shocked to hear about these events. Well, while the other half had been completely brainwashed by Amy's lies about me, Amy then attacked me physically, and we both fell to the floor. Sam pulled her away and threw her at someone else, but by then she had scratched my face and my cheek was bleeding. Amy's parents led her outside without apologizing for her daughter's behavior. Meanwhile, my father retrieved the first aid kit, and it became apparent that half of the family believed Amy sided with her, while the other half simply supported me. It's astonishing that even with video proof, some family members still perceive Amy as the victim, blaming me for the failed marriage. How is that possible when the things that she said directly led to Cal breaking off the engagement? What are your thoughts? Whose side would you have taken? Update number 4. Hello everyone, it's Vivenna again, and well, a lot has happened since my last update just a week ago. Things have gotten me shooken to my core. Let me go ahead and explain. Today, I woke up to some disturbances downstairs. I checked the time, and it was just 2 a.m. and Sam was not home. Initially, I thought that Sam had come home earlier than expected from a trip with his buddies. However, as I heard something falling, a fear started to creep in. I slowly walked the stairway and peeked, trying to see if I could spot anything, and I noticed that a vase had tipped over. Quietly, I walked downstairs, hoping that was the extent of it. However, when I reached the kitchen to retrieve a broom and dustpan, I heard another crash emanating from the living room. I ducked to hide behind the counter, and I peeked and saw Amy destroying my couch with a knife. My heart raced as I tried to reach the stairs to get to my phone, fearing that Amy might use the knife against me. The house already smelled of alcohol, and I was in shock to find Sam's bar completely ruined. I didn't think I could walk past her stairs without her noticing, so I decided to engage Amy in a conversation, gauging if she was sober enough to talk. Amy was shocked to see me there, but she was angry. She accused me of ruining her life, so she would now ruin my house. I was just relieved that she didn't seem too inclined to actually harm me with that knife. She went on about how horrible I was and how she would like to ruin everything I owned, everything I've stolen from her, and I just decided to take advantage of the fact that she was drunk. I told her that maybe she would like to ruin my closet instead. There's a lot of expensive dresses and shoes there. She was drunk as hell and found the idea appealing, and I told her to go ahead, take her revenge. She stumbled upstairs, and I was half scared that she would fall on me and accidentally impale me with a knife that I followed behind her. I locked her in the bathroom instead, and she starts screaming for me to let her out. I called the cops, scared that she might harm herself trying to get out of the bathroom. I was shaking by the time the cops got there and retrieved Amy. They suggested that I call a family member, seeing that I was in shock and in no state to stay home alone. I called my father to come over. Apparently, while my dad was coming over, my mom informed some of her cousins who had also come. This is how Amy's parents found out about what their daughter did, and they rushed to the police station while the rest of the family rushed to my house. Sam was furious when I told him what happened, and honestly, I was in no state to be angry. I was scared, and she was able to trespass into my house without me realizing. Sam booked a flight to get back to me, and my dad's currently going to pick him up at the airport as I sit here. The shock is wearing off, but I feel unsafe. I'm shocked that neither Sam nor I had alarms installed in the house until now. The first thing I do tomorrow morning is call someone to get them installed. Update number 5. Hello everyone, it's OP here again. I'm just here to update you on where me and Sam are with our lives right now. It's been a month since Amy trespassed into my house with a knife, and a few things have actually happened. Amy was in jail for a day until her parents bailed her out, and I decided not to press charges. After all, she's family. Well, Sam wasn't happy about that. He wanted her to pay for the fear that she instilled in me. I reassured him that it was all right, and finally my family sees Amy as bitter, a jealous person that she is. Even her parents were mad at her behavior that night and threatened to disown her unless she got to act together. Harriet suggested that they take Amy to a therapist. Maybe talking about her feelings would make her feel better. Sam's been reluctant throughout. He wants a restraining order against Amy. He's scared that she might do something again while he isn't around, and I just reassured him that I would handle it like I did this time. He just didn't like that I had anything like this to handle, and I understand where he's coming from, but I just think that he needs to understand that Amy is in pain. She's horrible, but horrible people also feel pain. That's probably why she trespassed into our house like that. Anyways, we have not had any communication with Amy. Her parents have been in contact with the rest of the family, though, and the rest of the family sides with me in this conflict. They were shocked at how they missed the signs regarding Amy. Even when I screamed those signs in their faces, but I did not say anything to their face. Well, I guess that's it. I hope there's nothing more to update on this conflict now. I just want to bury this situation, as it's left me a little terrified of being alone in my own home. I just want to forget about Amy and feel safe again. Top comments from the last update. Comment number 1. On one hand, I'm sorry that Amy made you feel unsafe in your own house. However, I think your revenge against her was very satisfying to read about. Some people just deserve to be treated the way they treat others, and revenge isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's necessary. In your situation, it was necessary as it helped Cal out, and if he had ended up marrying Amy, she would have created a lot of issues for that poor man. I'm glad that you were able to uncover Amy's true nature and show it to the rest of the family so they would stop enabling her toxic behavior. I think you should go to therapy a few times to talk about the situation there. Maybe it can help you feel a bit safer. And if Amy does something again, take Sam's suggestion of a restraining order against Amy seriously. He does have a point. Comment number 2. Well, Amy sounds like a handful. It must have been horrible to deal with someone like that. I understand where your feelings of revenge were originating, but it was terrible to embarrass her poor fiancé. He seemed like an innocent party in all this. The true victim of your conflict was him. Why would you do that? I mean, how humiliating he must have been. Instead of subjecting him to such a spectacle in front of his family, you could have just sent the video directly to him. Alternately, you could have sent the video of Amy separately to your family, avoiding implicating Cal in all this. I just hope neither of you hurts any more people than you already have in these childish antics. There's been enough damage done to other people already because of the two of you.
Well, Amy is out of her mind and she really needs to have a mental evaluation and possibly get some help. I mean, the fact that she was drunk as a skunk, destroying OP's house and furniture with a knife, well, that's some pretty scary stuff because you never know what she was capable of doing with that knife. I want to know your thoughts and what do you think about OP pulling off the stunt of locking her in the bathroom? That was a great move because, well, we never know how much it could have escalated if she was to get to that bedroom closet and start ripping apart a bunch of clothing. Anyways, I want to know your thoughts, how you would have handled the story. My name's Mr. Reddito, and I narrate stuff like this every single day, so if you guys want to be a part of these daily stories, all you have to do is drop a subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.